The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today. And we are pleased to have with us some of the contingent from the Shepnaz Youth. And they recently went on winter retreat, and they're so energized and so excited that they want to come back and tell all of you about their experience. I'm getting the evil eye right now from Cheeto, but that's okay. That doesn't matter to me. All right. So first of all, welcome in Pastor Bryanna for guiding our youth through this group and getting them there and everything. So welcome in. Tell us a little bit about, and just get right in that microphone. Tell us a little bit about what Winter Retreat is for people that don't know, and when it was, and who went, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, so Winter Retreat is a yearly event that is held by South Central District. So it's a time for all of the churches within the district, the teens and the youth, to kind of gather together and meet each other in fellowship and worship, and there's just different like breakout sessions, and we always have like a guest speaker come in. So this year it was Tito Rivera. He's from Newark, New Jersey, so he was great, and it's always an amazing time. It's just for a weekend in January, but it's just a great time for the students to grow in their faith and in relationships, and it's always, like I said, it's always a great time. So
now, who all is going? I know we have other youth groups. Is this just within the South Central Ohio District, or what are we looking at there?
Yep. So just the South Central District. There, I don't know how many churches were there, but there were 370 students in total. So there's a good amount of people, and I know for you guys, I'm sure you saw familiar faces from last year, and you know, when we have other district events, it's good to see, you know, the people you know and old friends that you have in other churches. So it's just a great way to connect.
That seems like a pretty phenomenal number, actually. I mean, it's great to hear that it's being supported that well. Where is the camp held? Like, where do they have it?
Yeah, so the last 2 years, it was held at Higher Ground Retreat Center in Indiana. So it's like right on the border, West Harrison.
Nice. And there may be a day, someday in the future, and sorry guys, you're probably not going to see it, but someday in the future, Hocking Hills Retreat Center will probably end up having Winter Retreat down there. That would be really, really cool. All right, so intro some of our guests here today, and you let us know a little bit about them, and
sure,
bring them into this.
Who wants to start with? So here we have Cheeto. He's the only guy. Well, Joe's the guy too, but the only guy. Cheeto is a junior, and he's great. He plays guitar. He is on our worship team. He is here all the time. He actually lives here in one of our classrooms. He has a bed there, and eats, sleeps, and does everything here.
He has a bunk next to mine.
But he's great. We love having him. Next, we have Gabby. And Gabby is also here a lot too. She serves on like the tech team for Wednesday nights and on Sunday mornings. She's a huge help, and she's just awesome to have. She's a sophomore. And also Marin, lovely Marin. And she's grown up here her whole life. I remember when she was a baby, and I don't think she knows that, but I remember when you were really little, which is crazy that I now get to lead you. But she plays piano. She's really gifted in music. You also play trombone?
Tuba.
See, that's awesome. All right.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is our crew today.
Now, are you in the marching band with tuba, or is this just a personal venture?
You can't march as a freshman, but I will be next year.
Nice. Side note, my dad played tuba, and he was like long-term. He was in the high school band for 6 years. Not because he flunked, but because he was so big, they put him in 7th grade. And then he went to Ohio State and played in the Ohio State marching band for that. But it's not about me, or my dad, actually.
On February 14th, we will be observing an Ash Wednesday time of remembrance as we look toward Easter. On Ash Wednesday, Christians around the world gather to reflect on our mortality, a call for repentance, and prepare our hearts for the season of Lent. Join us for this at 6:30. Kids are welcome, and there will be childcare for the youngest and wiggliest kids.
Well, now that we know a little bit about each of you, Maybe, Bryanna, if you could kind of bring us into kind of what is the Winter Retreat program like? I mean, we've talked about where it is and who all went there and so forth, but kind of like what kinds of things are done during Winter Retreat? I mean, like what's the program like and so forth?
Yeah, so we get there usually on a Friday night. It's usually kind of late when we get there. So, we get all settled, and then right away there's a service and worship. The worship is put on by Mount Vernon's. They have a band that like tours and does events like this, and they were phenomenal. And then we had service, and then usually depending on the year. So like last year we went snow tubing, and that was the first night. So we were like snow tubing at like midnight, which was kind of fun. This year we went in the morning, but so we'll do things like that. There's tons of games, as you would imagine with a youth thing. This year we had a mechanical bull. That was fun. And yeah, it's just a lot of games and worship and services. We did a talent show also, which they actually got third place out of 13. So
Wow.
that was
Okay.
pretty good. They did a whole Veggie Tales dance, which you know about.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just, there's like downtime where you can just hang out with people and with each other, like in the youth group, but also go make friends. Like some of our students made friends with other churches and got to hang out with them. So it's honestly just a really fun time. There's a lot of time to grow in relationships, and also just in your walk, we have small groups and discussion questions, things like that. So it's jam-packed. It goes super fast, but it's always a lot of fun, and you get a lot out of it.
All right, so let's hit some of the highlight moments. Like, so be thinking here for a second about like what would be my best takeaway. Like, what was the most fun thing that we did when we were at Winter Retreat? And then we'll also talk about maybe what was the most meaningful thing that we did at Winter Retreat. And I suppose, I mean, if you really want to, you could give us some critiques about what you didn't like about it, but, be nice when you do that. So anyone want to go first for, like, what was the most fun thing? What was the most fun moment for you guys at Winter Retreat?
I would definitely have to say that was when, on the second night, there was a talent show they had where all the churches had to come up with their own thing. And our thing was dancing to a remix of the Veggie Tales theme song.
Nice.
And coming up with that dance 2 weeks before was very fun. And then when we got to do it was extra fun because I got to launch my friend Chris over my shoulder and land him. And we did it so fast, I almost thought I was going to actually throw him. So that was probably the most fun for me.
Now, is there video evidence of this?
Yes, there is actually. Yes, there is.
All right. So we're going to cut to this video. I'm going to insert it right here in the podcast so that
we got a show for you. Cauliflower,
assuming that you just enjoyed the video of Cheeto almost throwing someone over his shoulder and doing the dance and so forth. And this garnered you what place?
Third, yeah, third.
Was there a whole like trophy presentation, little podium?
No, they were not. They were not that fancy with it. It was more bragging rights.
Okay, nice. So you go back next year, like, yeah, we're third place talent show.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Gabby, what was your most fun moment at Winter Retreat?
I would also say the talent show because I danced in my free time, so it was nice to do it with other kids in the youth group as well.
Do you often dance as a Veggie tail on your own? Or just...
No, I do more. I have an extracurricular activity outside of school. It's called Momentum, where we dance at a theater and with a bunch of other schools. And it just, sorry.
You're fine.
What was I saying?
That you dance with others, people from other schools.
It's an extracurricular program where a bunch of kids from different schools in Ohio will practice a set choreography. Last year, it was a show called Truth Be Told. And we basically just danced to a bunch of music and had a total of 4 shows in May.
That's cool. That's really
But
cool.
I've never danced as a Veggie tail before.
All right. So, well, you can cross that off your bucket list now because not only did you do it, but you were able to achieve third place at the talent show by doing so. So, Maren, let's hear what was your most fun moment at the talent. Oh, wow. Is it going to be the talent show or is it going to be something else?
I was going to say the talent show was very fun. I did take a big step on Cheeto's foot, though. Sorry about that.
Is that also on the video that we watched?
I think you can see me trip a little bit.
Okay.
It definitely is. But snow tubing was fun, but the drive there was better.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I think the drive back, the car was breaking down, and we were all screaming like The Greatest Showman or something, and Bryanna was yelling at us to stop because the car was breaking down. She was yelling.
She was yelling.
She was yelling.
Yeah. Well, it was the end of Winter Retreat, not the beginning. So.
Let's just say Jesus took that wheel.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to cut into our conversation right there for today, and we want to be able to continue that with you tomorrow. So be sure to come back tomorrow. We're going to hear a little more from the youth on Winter Retreat and some of their thoughts on youth group in general. We encourage you to keep up with everything that's going on at the church by going to shepnaz.org. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Pastor Bryanna, I'm Joe. Have a great day.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.